No, the atmosphere was not sad. The atmosphere was like a party. The atmosphere was very happy. Was the atmosphere sad
No,
or happy?
the atmosphere was
The
happy.
atmosphere was happy. The atmosphere was like a party. What was like a party?
The atmosphere was like a party.
The atmosphere in the cemetery was like a party. Where was the atmosphere like a party?
In cemetery.
In the cemetery, right? The cemetery. The
Cemetery.
atmosphere was like a party in the cemetery. Was the atmosphere like a party at my house?
No.
No, not at my house. The atmosphere was like a party in the cemetery. The atmosphere was not like a party in my house. So the atmosphere was like a party. There were people everywhere.
Oh.
Families were sitting around the graves of their dead ancestors.
Ah.
Where were the families sitting?
Their ancestor.
Around the graves, right? They were sitting around the graves. Who was sitting around the graves?
Families.
The families, right? The families were sitting around the graves. Were they sitting around the trees?
No, they wasn't.
No, they weren't sitting around the trees. They were sitting around the graves. So, where were they sitting?
They sitting around the graves.
Around the graves. Families were sitting around the graves of their dead ancestors.
Yes.
Were they sitting around the graves of their dead ancestors?
Yes.
Yes, they were sitting around the graves of their dead ancestors. Were they sitting around the graves of their friends?
No, they were not.
No, not really. They were sitting around the graves of their dead ancestors. Who was sitting around the graves?
Families.
That's right. Families were sitting around the graves. Whose graves were they sitting around?
Is their dead
Whose
ancestor.
graves were they sitting around?
Their dead ancestor.
Yes, their dead ancestors. Their ancestors. Their ancestors' graves. They were sitting around the graves of their dead ancestors. Were they sitting around the graves of their dead ancestors?
Yes.
Or the graves of their friends?
They sitting around the graves
Ancestors,
of dead
right? They were
ancestors.
sitting around the graves of their dead ancestors. They cleaned the graves and added fresh flowers.
Oh.
Okay, who cleaned the graves? That's
Families.
right, the families. What did they add?
They add fresh flower.
They added fresh flowers. Did they add food?
No, they add fresh
No,
flower.
they didn't add food. Did they add money?
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't add money. They added fresh flowers. What did they clean?
They cleaned the
They
graves.
cleaned the graves. Whose graves did they clean? Right? Their ancestors. Right? They cleaned their ancestors' graves. Where did they add flowers?
Next to the graves.
Oh, they added flowers to the graves. That's right. They cleaned the graves and added fresh flowers. Very good. I walked through the cemetery.
Oh.